And speaking of the three, we know Danny Ainge loved the three, and we'll get to him.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you that, do you know what makes LeBron James, King James? Sleep. That's right. Sleep is his superpower. Calm, the #1 app for sleep and meditation, has teamed up with LeBron James to help you activate the power of sleep. So if you head to calm.com/scribe, for a limited time, you'll get 40% off a Calm premium subscription. Again, for a limited time, our listeners can join LeBron in using Calm and get a 40% discount on a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/scribe. Started at calm.com/scribe. Okay, so we go with Danny, and before we get to Danny going to Utah after his break, I did say one time on the radio, Danny was an overrated three-point shooter. Of course, I was at the Garden last night, and I never heard the end of it on that, because when I watched Danny, I thought he took too many threes, but whatever. Needless to say. Jeff, I want to start with you on this, because I'm wondering if you're hearing something on the ground or any rumblings. Was the fix in with Danny going to Utah, or did he literally take 6 months off and have no clue what he was going to do?
No, I think he knew this was going to be the end game. It was more of when, and he did want to take some time to kind of, tone it down and get everything settled in Utah. Played at BYU. It had run its course in Boston. Like, I don't know if he was forced out. People are like, well, he was forced out by Wick and Pagliuca. I don't think he was necessarily forced out. I think he still had a very good relationship with those guys. I think they had a meeting, and it was, listen, probably Danny as much as anything, this thing isn't working. We need to make a change. Everybody knew that at that point. Now, people thought the change was going to be, either a player at that point, which they couldn't trade Tatum or Jaylen Brown, or the coach. And at that point, Brad Stevens was on the hook for too much money. So they figured this whole thing out. And to me, it made sense for everybody involved for the most part, right? Brad gets kind of a blank slate as an executive. Danny gets to take some time off and now go back closer to home and have a franchise that is in better shape right now than the Celtics.
Sure.
So I think, and for health reasons, I think it was the right move for Danny too, because he was working, the hours he was working, he's not going to have to work now because he's got Justin Zanuck with him who can do a lot of the trading and things like that. And he could probably manage a little more than be involved in every single decision.
I thought it was just inevitable. That it didn't remotely surprise me that that's where he landed up. I didn't know if it would be a year or not, and but I certainly can't refute anything he said. I'm just not surprised at all. I think it was an appropriate landing plus spot for him, and I think the key ultimately for the position is he doesn't have to go 24/7. He'll figure out the workload, and whatever he chooses will be fine with them. He's there. He'll always be available for a phone call. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Even if he's coming off the 18th hole, somewhere. His name resonates in that community.
Well, I feel bad because I'm a Danny Ainge fan, and I feel that he kind of got a bad rap here in Boston, and I think that he made the deal for Kyrie. And anybody would have pulled that trigger. And when Kyrie came, we all thought, okay, geez, he did it again. He did it with Garnett and Ray Allen. Now he's done it with Kyrie. And here we go. Because they had come off 2 Eastern Conference final appearances with the young guys. They get the veteran. We're in business. And then Kyrie just blew up on him the way he blew up on everybody else. And then I think Danny, Jeff and Bob, I think Danny just said, I can't deal with this. I got to get out of here. I can't deal with these clowns. And quite frankly, I think that, when you look at Jason Tatum and you look at Jaylen Brown, I think he looked at those two guys and said, we're not going to win with these guys either, because they're not. They're not going to win with this team. They got to blow it up. And I think he knew that.
Yeah, I think Danny probably realized, again, that it had run its course here in Boston as much as anything else, that, yes, he was not going to win another title here. And I think he also felt like he could help out Brad Stevens, give him another chance here, have a landing spot right now for his son, for Austin Ainge, who has a relationship with Brad, so he can stick around in Boston. So I think there were a lot of, listen, as you get older, he's 62 years old. What do you want more than anything? I'm 50. All I want to do is take care of my daughter. That's it. My career is secondary right now. So I'm sure Danny had the same thing here of like, how do I make sure my son is okay? Well, the best way to do it, he's already got a relationship with Brad Stevens. Brad's going to keep him on. Brad's the best human being in the world. He's going to keep him. So my son's going to be okay. And now if he wants to bring his son with him to Utah, he can do that.
I love the idea that they are actually in direct competition now. So anyway, now Danny, Danny's name is gold in that community. I mean,
and it's gold here.
You can make a case.
It's gold in Boston still.
Yeah, it should be. That's
I get people.
Jeff, thank you for saying that, because I think it should be. Bob, do you think, you know how Jeff feels? Do you feel his name is gold in Boston?
In Boston?
Yeah.
I don't think it's negative. I think it's pretty, I don't know, gold, but I think it's a positive.
He did a great job. I thought he did a great job in Boston. And I kind of think the Kyrie thing, put a blemish on it.
He had them competitive every single year. Every year they were competitive for the most part, other than, again, when Brad first took over, which it was a mess. Yeah. And it had to be then. I mean, listen, he got fortunate with the Tatum trade. He did. He made the right pick with Jaylen Brown. That's for damn sure, because he could have had Chris Dunn, who's barely sticking out in the league right now. Yeah, like nobody gets it all right.
No.
He made some great decisions. Obviously he got Rondo years ago, and he made some bad ones, Gerald Green, and other guys we can go through. But for the most part, Danny Ainge, to me, was a very good exec who was always unafraid. And I know people will say, well, he hung on to the draft picks too long. Yeah, he did. He was hoping they turned into more than they did before he dealt them. But again, I like Danny. I think Danny's been a stand-up guy his entire career, whether it's as a player or as an exec, and again, been unafraid to make moves when he needed it.
If the only thing he did was what he did on draft night in 2007, he should be remembered fondly, because, he transformed the team completely that night.
And soon a new banner will be raised to the rafters, and the first one here in this new garden called the TD Bank North Garden. It's the tremendous celebration.
And following it up with getting Kevin, but he doesn't have Ray. He's not going to get Kevin. Right. So that's that. We know that. Anyway, no, nobody's perfect. And you have to, he's also, it's the total package, Gar. I mean, he was a lovable player here, and maybe not in the rest of the league. That's fine. He was our guy. And I thought that rap was completely overblown. It makes it sound like he's a Brad Marchand character. I don't think so.
Oh, God, no.
Although Brad Marchand, let me put in context, hockey fans, he's a better hockey player than Danny was a basketball player. Okay, I understand. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the negative side of Brad Marchand.
If Gordon Hayward doesn't get hurt in 2017, who knows? I mean, again,
they were playing so well 2 years ago when they went into January, February, and then and Hayward then goes down again.
I just don't know. Then you have Tatum and Jaylen Brown as supporting complementary guys who are growing at that point. And again, do I trust Kyrie to lead them to a title? Probably not. But who knows? Who knows how the chemistry is of that team that year? They certainly have enough talent. If you had a healthy Kyrie, a healthy Gordon Hayward, Tatum and Jaylen Brown as young players that have some experience, man, it's hard to imagine much better of a team than that.
And then maybe